Welcome to Squatch-D TV, where the truth is first before all else. Join your hosts, veteran investigator, TV personality, and author Steve Kulls, and from the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Project and the Kentucky Fried Fixes channel, Chris Bennett. Sit back and prepare to take yourself on a journey with the longest-running Bigfoot podcast, Squatch-D TV. Here are your hosts, Steve and Chris.
Yeah, just great. Now that's not set right either.
Oh man, the bugs.
All right, flip it. We're just going to go cold tonight. It's been a very bad 30 minutes here. Many of you know that I've been trying to. I do have the newsletter done for those who have subscribed. Yet my paid-for business mail will not let me add more than 22 people to the group. In fact, what I don't understand is everybody that I have added on since a certain date onto the list has now dropped off the list. And I'm unable to get anybody else new on the list. And I pay for this email service. So it shouldn't care how many people I have on a mailing list. But it does, apparently.
Yeah.
So, fine, I'll post it to the website. And now the PDF reader on the website says that it cannot be viewed in the browser. You can only download it, and it's the shittiest graphic you've ever seen. So, the newsletter's done, folks. I've been trying furiously. It seems like it's going to take me a day or two to, no, not spam filters at all. Not at all. It doesn't even get off the launch pad. Again, this is business mail I pay for. It's not even letting me add anybody else to my contact list to even put you in the mailing group. So I have no idea what's going on with the stupid email or the stupid website.
Your software is in open revolution against you, Steve. But that's all right.
No, it's not.
You can show it who's boss.
Pisses me off because I pay for this stuff. And when you pay for something, it should fucking work. Pardon my French.
Oh.
Pardon my French.
Well, this is why I don't like technology. Technology is great while it's working, but when it doesn't work, man, it sucks. Well, I'll tell you what, though. I couldn't be happier with the StreamYard venue that we've been using for a while here, because we get to show stuff and we can talk to the people in the chat and let them view what we're looking at. And
so what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to paste a picture of the cover of the newsletter and just make it a clickable link, and you can go to a Google Drive and download it off the Google Drive, because
that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. There's always a way to work around, Yeah, Don Gumow says, Junior says, break out the stamps and envelopes.
Sorry, Don, this is a free newsletter.
That's the way it used to be done, Not many people can remember what a SACE is.
But you can never get a free email or a free newsletter. You'd have to pay for it because you got to cover the postage.
Yeah, or you send them a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Yeah.
But, in this day and age, when's the last time you mailed a letter? I can't even recall. Everything's online now. I used to mail in my bills, but now pay them online.
I want it. I'm trying to deliver on time, and I can't because of this internet nonsense. Yes, I can put, I have other PDFs on there that are great. There's an idea. Hang on a second.
Men in black. They're holding you back, Steve. That's what it is.
If everybody just takes a minute here before we get into the Bigfoot world.
It's just they're doing you the same way they did Bob Lazar, right?
You know what I'm going to do? I didn't even think of doing this until just now. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to print it as a PDF. Let's see how that works.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
let's
Grant.
see if that works. Grant's sick, poor bastard.
He wants his newsletter sent FedEx overnight letter by FedEx.
Yeah, well, keep on wishing. You can crap in one hand and wish in the other. See which one fills up faster.
Oh, man.
Let's see.
You know, if the channel had the revenue, we could do that. But no. No.
Let's see. We're working on this live on the air because I really feel the need to deliver. I mean,
Yeah.
I just, where did it go now? Oh my God.
Well, you know, if everybody could learn Morse code, yeah, you could tap out the newsletter and we could all sit down.
Are you fucking kidding me? Pardon my French again. But I just printed the damn thing and it didn't print it.
Oh, Steve, you're hurting my ears.
Man,
My poor-
why don't you talk to the crew for a little bit? I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna just.
Okay, Steve. Oh, Sunday. Yeah, these technical issues can be a problem, and but you know, you gotta believe that when technology works right, it's great. When it doesn't, yeah, not so great. Yeah, that's it, Walter. Send it Morse code. Everybody just get out their notepad and pencil and start writing the dots and dashes down, then decode it. Or if you're good, you know, you can decode it from memory, but my memory's not that great. Let me see. I'm going to go through some of these. Golly, hey. I'm scrolling up. There's a lot of people in here tonight. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We appreciate having you. What is the world? Okay. Let me get up here to the top. And let's see. Start from the top. Roy Longley. He's the first one in tonight. Hey, Roy. Representing our lurkers. We appreciate having you. Library, grocery store, driving, movies.
I don't know if you can hear me, Chris.
Yeah, I hear you, mate.
Okay, my computer's locked up now.
Oh, no. Well, I can hear you and see you just fine. Everything's fine. Oh, you can't reboot during the show, can you? That'll knock us off the air. Oh, crap. Well, anyway, first in was Roy Longley. And then close second, Reverend Quantum Bigfoot. We appreciate it. It's in our neighbor from the UK over there. Karen Fisher. Hey, Karen. Good to see you. Walter Kroll. Welcome, Walter. Good to see you always. Pat Collins. Hey, man. It's good to see you, Pat. Hadn't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Mitch Hartgrove. Welcome, Mitch. We appreciate having you. And Grant. Hope you get to feeling better, Grant. Appreciate you, man. Southern Sierra Bigfoot. I think that's Danny Weeks. Yeah. Good to see you, Danny. Sandra Piper. Hey, Sandra. Welcome. Yeah, there's Tate Haramas. Hey, Tate. Good to see you, man. Bluff Creek is not a hotspot. Well, I don't know, Tate. It certainly was at one point in time. When let's see. Karen Fisher. Hey, Karen. Good to see you. And I don't know, Walter. I don't know if I already said Walter Crow. Yes, I think I did. Oh, the B-Tron. Hey, B-Tron. Welcome, man. Good to see you. I like that photo of you there. The background is beautiful. Can you tell me where was that taken? Because that's lovely. I love that. Helix Con. Hey, welcome, Helix. Good to see you. Of course, there's Jen, our bouncer. Hey, Jen. Good to see you, Jen. Sandra. I think I already got Sandra. Karen, yeah, I'm going over. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to scroll down slowly, and I think I'm covering some of you guys more than once. If I am, I apologize. Oh, there's Gianni. Hey, Gianni, good to see you, man. Welcome. Another one of our European neighbors over there checking it out, staying up at all hours of the night to check us out. We appreciate having you. Don Gumow Jr., good to see you, Don. Let's see. Oh, there's Mick. Hey, Mick. Good to see you, man. Welcome. Didn't get a notification. Don't worry, man. We're running a little bit behind schedule tonight anyway due to technical issues, but hang in there. New Jersey Bass Pro, welcome. Well, that's a nice fish. Oh, I love bass fishing too. Well, let's see. Have I got everybody? And there's me. Hi, me. Let's see. I think I got Helix Con. I think I already said yeah. Oh, Mike Stetton. Hey, Mike. Welcome. Good to see you. And I'm trying to slowly scroll down, but the chat, you guys have really been typing since 8 o'clock, and we got on here late too, so the chat is extremely long-winded here. I see Sharon. Hey, Sharon. Welcome.
Done.
Did you get it straightened out, babe?
Well, we can't mail it, but if you want the Squatch Detective report, just go on the website, squatchdetective.com, scroll down, you'll see the PDF.
Good.
We're all fixed.
Good. Thank goodness. Well, that worked out for the best.
Well, not really, but the best I would have just emailed it.
Yeah. Well, situation under control now.
So now we have a new process. So
yeah.
And what I did was basically is I just printed it on Microsoft print to PDF.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now my browser can see it just
well,
fine.
Good. That'll work.
Which means everybody else can see it fine.
I think I got everybody in the roll call here. Oh, there's Nikki. Hey, Nikki.
So I
understand
apologize.
You had a notorious guest on earlier.
That's right.
Good to see you.
I humbly apologize. It's been very frustrating, and it's been one hell of a weekend, hasn't it, Chris?
Oh, it certainly has. Very.
Not a single news story out this weekend.
Yeah.
Just really quiet.
Yeah.
And already tomorrow is Monday.
Yeah. Smedley do right. Welcome, Smedley.
So
I think I got everybody now. I had missed Michelle Wilfong. I missed Michelle. Sorry, Michelle. But I think I'm getting closer to the bottom now.
You're on Squatch-D TV. How low can you go?
Finding the track way. That's Bill, I believe. Yeah. Welcome. I think I have got. What? We have a new one here tonight. I think. Hong Wei Lo. Welcome.
Hey.
Corncob Say. Good to see you. Corncob Say. Corey Larrabee. I think.
Good to see you.
Welcome, Corey. I hope not.
You're an exerciser. Yeah, we got rid of it. Yeah, we did.
Corey says, "Does Bigfoot eat humans?" And we certainly hope not.
Only if they cover themselves in peanut butter.
Yeah. Oh, that would be horrible.
That would be. So anyway, it's been quite the week. One wonderful thing I can say is the sciatic nerve is starting to lighten up finally.
Good deal.
So you're just in time. By spring, hopefully I'll be running back up those hills and hollers. And next week we'll
walking down the branch.
Later on this week, I'm hoping to have some exciting announcements about events. So
good.
because we've just added a couple of more, and I'm just waiting for some official announcements, some official websites to come through, and then we're putting them in.
That's
Okay,
interesting.
so all right, anybody have a guess where the number one slot goes to the top 5 Bigfoot sighting areas that we're talking about tonight? And these are areas where Bigfoot has been seen consistently. Oh yeah, Mick, we've seen that too, and we'll be talking about that in a minute because it does have something to do with Bigfoot hotspots.
Yay!
And that's kind of what gave me the idea. Let's go with the real Bigfoot hotspots. And no, I'm not talking about where Sasquatch Ontario has the Neff talking, because that's what the croc is cooking right now. The Funker. He's talking about the Neff and the sounds and how that's a Bigfoot hotspot now. I think that's a Bigfoot hotspot. Dude, stay in your basement, all right? Just stay in your basement. Anyway, sorry.
Well, Ontario has a lot of green leafy things and trees and mountains, so.
I'm going to start calling him Thinkless Thunker, because when you got nothing left to point out, let's go to a grifter to point out the grifter.
I have not seen it. Normally I don't watch his channel, but I mean
he's analyzing. He's doing all of Mike Patterson's crap, right?
Oh my God!
Right, and he's trying to say, "Oh well, if you listen to this," and now apparently he's an expert on flipping audio.
Oh no!
Right. First, he's an expert on heightened because he can put little sticks on things, and then assume that a tree is a certain height.
I am amazed that he doesn't know that that's been exposed as a house for several years now.
He doesn't care. He needs to cut a video out because he needs to make the ching chang.
Yeah, they made those audio
Sandwich
recordings by
Savant's
inhaling while they
there.
talked.
Got right there. He said it's real and people can't make that noise.
Yes, you can. Everybody can.
Yeah, let's
Sure.
Well, just go to my site and you can play Daryl Strum going, I am not real.
I used to do that as a kid. What you do, instead of exhaling while you talk like we normally do, you inhale and then talk. And it makes the weird vocals patterns that you hear. And it's a hope.
Right. And considering the guy making that is a vocalist in a death metal band.
Yeah, well, that just adds the cherry on top, doesn't it?
See, if Stinker Stunker knew what he was talking about, especially when it comes to sound, he talks about different things. Where is the range of those sounds, and why can't a human make that just because you think they can't? No.
No. We just
What's
need
the
to see the frequency.
of the sound?
Yeah, there you go.
What's the decay?
The magic.
Right? What's the
term.
subglottal pressure?
Yes.
Let's talk about all that.
Yeah. I'm with you, Mick. I have no doubt there are Sasquatch in northern Ontario, probably a lot of places in Ontario. But
and this is the same guy that said the head under the glass was a Bigfoot head, right? And it's been proven that it's not, right?
Yeah, that
same
was the
dude. Same dude.
Sugar. What was it? Sugar Creek Road Monster or something like that. Sugar Road Monster, whatever it was. Anyway, they used to have that head on display down in
I agree,
place in
so let's
Lebanon,
get into
Tennessee.
What do you think is going to be on our number one on the Bigfoot clusters of sightings? Where do you think that's going to be? This should be an easy one, a no-brainer for us, folks. Come on. I see Corncob say he said Salt Fork.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good one. Is it on the list? Perhaps.
Well, if this is an indication, this is the opening slide here, or is this just the show slide? Because
this is the opening slide.
I see "Welcome to Whitehall, New York" right clearly,
Well,
right up
yeah,
there.
well, that's that. I can't help it. It mishmashed all the different areas.
Yeah.
So
Mick says the Olympic Peninsula.
Close. So, and we're going to kind of lump those together.
Yeah.
And it's actually, well, aside from hitting all my books.
Yes, that's where the sightings occur.
Well, on Amazon. And if you noticed, I have now included on the bookshelf, the new book is there.
Yes.
Right smack dab in the middle. So anyway, the Pacific Northwest. Of course, sightings have been going on there. Very well known since the 20s and 30s and the 50s with, starting, really with the authentic ones with the Ruby Creek incident. And even though the Pacific Northwest, we're going to include, British Columbia, Canada in that, a place where John Green, Rennie DeHinden, and Thomas Steenberg all spin their wheels quite a bit, or spun their wheels, some of them.
Yeah.
But the Pacific Northwest, and they continue to this day. And it's amazing how, I've encountered people that have been from the Pacific Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's almost like, to a lot of them, it's almost like fact that they're out there.
Right.
And you're going to find that very consistent with a lot of the areas we talk about today.
Yeah. I've often considered
this includes the areas include Washington, Oregon, Northern California, and British Columbia.
Yeah.
And this remains the most concentrated and historically consistent reporting region. Dense temperate rainforests, low human density in key areas, and decades of recurring reports. And that's the reason why it's number one. And like I said, it's got dense temperate rainforest. So
right,
say rainforest,
Isn't that kind of weird too? You wouldn't expect that from such a northern latitude there, but right there on the coast, that's what you get.
It looks kind of Janice Carter's kitchen.
Yeah, or her back porch. Yeah.
You're looking for garlic.
And it's fresh garlic.
Obviously, some of the notable elements of this, of course, the Patterson-Gimlin film filmed at Bluff Creek.
Yeah.
The repeated track finds in the Cascade Mountain ranges continuously, and a long history of reports from hikers and logging communities and just people driving down the road going, oh, there it is. And also, this area, also from a historical standpoint, produced the most footprint casts and multi-witness accounts. So, whereas you're more apt, like a lot of the car fulls have, the roadside crossings have car fulls of people and such. So, that's
and probably landmass area that is settled versus non-settled. I would say like Washington State is probably has one of the most open land masses of unsettled territory in the U.S. Wilderness, that is, woods, trees, hills, hollers, mountains.
People are still guessing Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Hello, Melissa Bailey. Good to have you here.
Sylvanic, yes.
Burp.
You have to go through that hole in the mountain to get to the other side. Yeah.
You think about it, the In Search of episodes. Ron Moorhead, Sierra Sounds comes from Northern California, the High Sierra Mountains.
Yeah.
We have the Fred Beck incident, which was the, Mount St. Helens, near Mount St. Helens, Ape Canyon.
Ape Canyon, yeah.
If you go to British Columbia, then we're talking and going back as far back as Albert Ostman. Of course, we have the Ruby Ridge incident. I love that story. That's a great story.
Yes. The Chapmans, yeah.
Much of that. Harry was also from the Pacific Northwest, up in British Columbia as well.
Yeah.
So there's a number of historical sightings over the years that have occurred there that really make that the hotspot, the number one hotspot, I would say, in the country.
Lots of grizzly bears, too.
Yeah, there are occasional grizzly bears. They mainly stay to Montana, around the Montana, very eastern Oregon area. But every once in a while, one does come wandering a little bit west. And that's because the grizzly bears are very particular about their climate. So, All right. Hey, who wants to guess number 2?
I would say, Helix Con says Fouke, big thicket, but I would think that's a definite spot, a historical spot, but I don't know if it would be considered a hot spot, like.
Wow, there's all kinds of things. We got Lapsaritis' mine, Biscardi's basement.
Yeah.
Of course, you, Mick, or rather Rev, you mentioned the word.
Joan, get me a Snapple.
So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Glacier Park, yeah. Yep, exactly. Glacier Park.
Helix, do you hunt Grizz?
And welcome, New Jersey Bass Pro.
It's a fellow Jeremiah Johnson movie fan there. I love that movie too.
Our number 2 area we're going to talk about right now is the Ohio Grassman, the Ohio Bigfoot sightings.
Bing, bing, bing.
And why it ranks. And the primary areas are eastern Ohio, especially around Salt Fork State Park. And why it ranks high. And of course, that whole Ohio River Valley area between Kentucky and Ohio, very rich in Bigfoot sightings as well. But why it ranks high, Ohio consistently ranks in the top states for sightings per square mile. The terrain is heavily wooded with agricultural edges that create ideal edge habitat. And some of the notable elements are a high density of repeated sighting locations, seasonal pattern reports, and the long-standing local name of Grassman. Actually, you know what? I think that's what one of my high school buddies used to call a guy he knew as the Grassman.
Grassman. Yeah.
And,
probably related to Bigfoot activity.
The Grassman, we visit his house every like once a week. Drop something off. I'm not quite sure, but anyway.
They were probably talking about Bigfoot activity and those Bigfoot casts.
So the thing is the reason what makes this is a hotspot is the clustering pattern here is geographically tighter than that compared to like the Western Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
So you have a much more concentrated area. And very interesting thing that Ohio has a very extremely low bear population. Remember Fox Flowan or whatever the hell his name is that did that study to try to convince people that Bigfoot sightings were just merely people misidentifying bears. Well, that don't work so well in Ohio, does it now?
No, it doesn't.
Or Florida, for that matter.
Yeah.
Can't explain that why in the top Bigfoot sighting states there's very low bear population. That's an interesting.
When that data does not agree with their analysis, they're quick to bury that too,
Or ignore it, yeah. That's what we call
that's not science, right?
That's what we call confirmation bias.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you got to take the data as it stands, not pick and choose. You can't cherry pick it. Got to be take it as it is.
There is a rumor about Salt Fork State Park this year, Chris.
What's that? I've heard some different things, but I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
There may be a bald man sighting there this year. I don't know. We'll see. Just saying.
That's up to you.
That's just saying.
But Ohio, it's kind of surprising, really, because you would think there's not a lot of vast wilderness in Ohio that's unsettled, but now you can take that to mean different things too. Like
Northern Ohio seems a little more.
Yeah,
the very north and the very south of Ohio, between Cincinnati and Cleveland, there is a lot of cities.
Yeah.
Right. In those proper areas. But man, I've driven that state a number of times and there's a lot of wilderness there.
Right. When you consider the landmass overall of the United States, only 15% of the land is actually settled with people, like, urban populations. Everything else is like vast open territory.
Well, we'll be looking at the map a little bit afterwards because when we're done with this, we're going to look at a particular area. that has been geocached by myself. So
Good. But yeah, Ohio. There are some trees in Ohio. I've driven through it many times, and yeah. But sometimes these things, you get. When I grew up, I was thinking the Pacific Northwest. That's it. That's the only place these creatures are going to be found. And then lo and behold, that turns out not to be the case. They can be found pretty much anywhere in the continental U.S.
And let's not forget. I know people have been saying that Ohio has a lot of corn. They also have a lot of maize and a lot of which is the corn made for animal feed as well. So
yes.
And it's pretty amazing that, you get outside of Ohio, Cincinnati, and you go across the bridge into Kentucky, and within a few miles, you're back in the wilderness again.
Right. Yeah, over on the eastern Kentucky, along the Appalachian Trail, the Appalachian Mountains there, yeah, boy, you got some hills and hollers over there that something could be hiding around in. Yep. But when you get over to the central and western portions of Kentucky, which I'm in the south central, we don't have, billions of acres of wild forest going on around here. So it's kind of surprising that these rascals would be in this area.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Kentucky, there's another rumor going around. That a bald man, another bald man, will be making an appearance near and in land between the lakes. Just saying.
I had heard that bald people were making rounds.
Well, a particular bald guy, and then there's a rumor about that too. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a very interesting year, I got to say. All these bald man sightings.
I had heard that, but I don't put much into what I hear, and depending on who it comes from, though, that's the thing.
Okay, next up, who do we think is next?
I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm guessing just like you guys. Let's see. Mick says the number 3 area has to be the Sierras.
That is covered by the Pacific Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
We have Illinois. That's funny. I've actually done Bigfoot research in Illinois in the southern tip. Interesting area, but not very heavily.
Yeah, that's the thing. Illinois, I lived there for about 6 months, and best I can remember, it's like wide open fields of corn as far as the eye could see. It's like flat. Where are the trees? I don't know.
Okay, here we go. Ready for number 3?
Let's do it. The skunk ape.
The skunk ape.
It's got to be Florida. Yeah.
Skunk ape region.
Yeah.
And why it ranks so high? Because Florida produces consistent reports despite radically different ecology. Swamp habitat offers concealment and low accessibility. Notable elements is they have a little bit more daylight sightings than they do nighttime sightings in Florida, which kind of makes sense because everything in the Florida swamps.
Right.
And jungles, because I don't call them forests down there. They're jungles, man. Everything wants to kill you.
Pretty swampy.
And when you can't see it at night, I don't want to be. And then, of course, they have, this is where the reports of strong odors originated from, a.k.a. the skunk ape, and had distinct regional naming amongst the tradition. Yeah. And again, the isolation of this, the ecological isolation, makes this one of the more interesting cluster adaptations. So, very interesting. But one would suspect that, hey, guess what? If you think about it, a lot of primates live in that type of climate.
Oh, yeah. That's you get into the tropics, when you're talking about Florida. And nice weather for especially the wintertime.
Yep, and it's almost the same latitudinal level as like the gorillas and the chimpanzees, and so and the orangs over, and if you go the other way towards Borneo and Sumatra.
Very comfortable wintertime for them, and they can
I
thrive
may be
in
off
that.
by a couple of grids, but it's the same general area. It's closer to the equator than we are up here in New York.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So, in fact, there are times in New York I feel like I'm 7 planets away from the equator.
Yeah, I mean, back in the mid 2000s when they were talking about, it was unbelievable. They were going to experience record colds of 35 degrees in January, and I was like, wow.
So
That's nice.
my wife has kind of got me watching too. Is she watches a lot of these wildlife rehabbers that are down in Florida.
Right.
She watches Gator Chris, who has the Bellowing Acres Sanctuary, which will be opening up next year or later this year for tours, which is awesome. They're working on it now.
Yes.
We watch Camp Keenan, with who likes to rehab a lot of animals and give them sanctuary. And yeah, they were dealing with weather that was below freezing this year. It got as low as 26 this year. So, and when you think about that, that opens the possibility up to even Florida getting snow.
Wow.
And so,
just incredible.
Yeah, they had to do a lot of running around to keep their animals safe because that really cold weather does some things to them. Now, crocodiles are funny because they almost go into a hibernating state.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's the thing. That's why the crocodiles and stuff tend to stay down south, because once they get up north here, a little chilly in the winter for them. They tend to die, unfortunately.
So my question is how do you think that cold snap affected the skunk ape in Florida? And if you're watching afterwards, leave a comment in chat or leave a comment, below, and let us know what you think. Did it affect the skunk ape in Florida, this cold snap that Florida had? And
well, it's certainly better suited to deal with cold temperatures.
Right.
They have a natural fur coat. They don't rely on the environmental temperature to regulate their body temperature.
And I just want to apologize earlier for the F-bombs. I am from New York, so my parents were from the Bronx. So.
Oh, man.
So okay. What do you think?
That's the nice thing about Florida. You got such nice weather. That's why all these snakes thrive there. And that's why they probably have all this
favorite animal.
Yes. That's why they have this issue with all the boa constrictors and stuff thriving in the environment they've taken over. It's an invasive species. And I would just like to suggest.
I don't think they're boas. I think they're pythons. They're ball pythons that are running around there, I believe.
Oh, I'd say there's several species that are currently taking over the swamps.
Well, there was that refuge, and what they realize now is they thought all people were just releasing their pets into the wild when they got too big.
Right.
That may have been true in some of the. New Jersey Bass Pro. You and Chris have made great friends. Chris hates snakes more than Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But what they found out about the snakes getting, it was that there was a hurricane 20 some odd years ago that wiped out one of these snake refuges, and they lost like 1,500 snakes.
Right.
Now, it doesn't take a genius to find out that you can have in some of those snakes a clutch of 20 eggs.
Yeah.
And they can do that a couple of times a year.
Sure.
So how quick is that population going to grow when you have about 300 snakes laying 20 eggs twice a year, and say half of them come to fruition? So that's 600 a year, and then you multiply it. So after 20 years, exponentially, you're looking at a
very very big problem. And they could take care of that issue. All they have to do is to donate.
Hey, Brian Wolf, good to see you. And he made a good comment too, as are a number of imported lizards as well. There's an iguana problem. Iguanas are not indigenous to Florida.
Oh, they certainly do very well in South Florida, though. They do. But I think I've been seeing some news pieces on
and probably
the code snap. The iguanas were falling from the trees because they were
and probably
lizards.
But really, do you know what the most invasive species to Florida is?
No.
New Yorkers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I could see that.
Anyway,
that has changed.
Everybody's moving out of there.
I'm not going to talk about that.
Anyway. All right, what's next? What do you think is next?
Oh, I don't know. I've not seen the charts, so I'm with the chat on this one. Just waiting to find out.
Mixes is the Canadian snowbirds. Yeah, but they go away. They leave when when Canada, has its nice warm 20-degree weather in the summertime. They all go up there.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about 20 Celsius either.
Oh, Brian ate some barbecue iguana. Oh man, I don't know about that, dude.
Yeah, why not? Tastes like chicken.
I would probably try it.
Come on, anything's got to taste good in barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Just don't tell me what it is until after.
Oh, that was...
you can try new food if you don't know what it is, but if you know what it is prior to trying it, it makes it more difficult. It really does.
North America, it's the North Saskatchewan sealskin bindings that always get me going. Anyway, I digress.
I would say the next one is going to be Texas. I don't know. I'm guessing. Oh. Lather it up with Korean barbecue.
Sorry, Chris. Not Texas. Nope, Whitehall.
Oh, dang it.
Remember, we're talking about cluster sighting. We're talking about
I missed the
hotspots.
foreshadowing there, yeah.
Right. So, and of course, the primary area, Washington County and the Adirondack foothills. And guess where I live? Washington County.
Yay.
Which is nice. I've been here now going on my 4th year.
Yeah.
God, it's hard to believe I've been here 4 years come this August. Why it ranks high? Well, Whitehall has produced repeated reports since the 1970s and maintains ongoing modern accounts. The proximity to the Adirondack Wilderness Corridor supports sustained habitat continuity. Mm-hmm. Some of the notable events, multiple flat periods, very true. We have the one in the 70s. It started about 74 and ended in 76, starting with Cliff Sparks at the Skeen Valley Country Club. Yep. And ending around the point in time that Brian Goslin had his sighting. Although there were some sightings and there lesser known sightings reported after and between. And then there was a flap that I had particularly dealt with on one particular road, Winters Road. And
you did a video on that, didn't you?
Yeah. Back in I think it was 2006, 2007, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Where I had, there was a sighting on Winters Road. That was where the 5 people... 3 people had one encounter. A half hour later, 2 other people had an encounter in the same area. And then about a week later, there was another young man who had a sighting down the road. And, so, I would call that like a little mini flap there. When you have a couple of sightings within a week of one another, saying basically the same thing. And either one of them, like the 5 didn't know about the other kid and the other kid didn't know about the 5. It wasn't like these were making the news.
Right.
We were going out investigating, packing up and going. And next thing you know, I was like, you know so-and-so? No, I don't know him. Okay.
Huh.
And in fact, I remember the kid's mother even saying, hey, are these things dangerous? So yeah, and we're gonna revisit in a little bit what a cluster looks like and over the years, and why Whitehall belongs on this list. That's because, and the reason why I'm doing that is because that's what my area especially is the Whitehall area. That's where I investigate mainly. So, all right, what do you think is next, folks? What is becoming rare and near extinct in Canada and Florida? Canadians. All right.
We don't
All
do
right.
that.
What's next? Fouke.
Fouke.
Fouke, Arkansas.
Oh, somebody said that earlier. I can't remember who it was. I put it up. But
I think it was
can't remember.
Mick.
It may have been. I can't
And
remember.
why it ranks high, this is one of the most historically concentrated of southern clusters. Though it started a notable element, the legend of Boggy Creek, repeated livestock disturbance reports, bottomland, hardwood, and habitat corridor is the reason why. And that corridor leads right into East Texas, which has a very high number of sightings, and it leads right into southern Oklahoma, which also has a vast number of sightings as well. So that whole corridor, there it is. That whole corridor is huge with sighting reports.
Yeah. And I was thinking about...
Sorry, Brian, we already did Ohio.
I was thinking about stopping by Fouke, Arkansas on my way to drive through this place in Texas on the coast where they have great seafood. That's one of my...
Grant says, what the Fouke are we talking about?
The legend of Boggy Creek.
And yeah, Johnny, Pennsylvania has a fair amount of sightings too. But these are hotspots. Remember, hotspots are usually areas where there's a cluster in a particular area.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one too. Chestnut Ridge. Yeah.
Which is part of what mountain range? Appalachians.
Oh.
So our honorable mentions, the Appalachians, the Ozarks, and Texas Piney Woods.
Yep.
So
oh, yeah, the
all of those
Ozarks. That's another good one. Yeah. Beautiful, too. Beautiful.
So, yeah, all of these areas are beautiful. Every single area we've talked to, there's some beauty as well in the Whitehall area. And and don't forget, the Whitehall area also consists of, like, across the border into Vermont as well, that whole area. And we'll talk about that in a bit. So, yeah, those are just some of the things. I mean, you like Texas, you have the Fort Worth Monster, Caddo Lake. Caddo Lake has got a lot of huge numbers of Bigfoot sightings, and I believe that's on the eastern part of the state, too, as well. The Ozarks, we have a good friend, Ron Bowles, who comes from the Ozarks that does investigations down there. And we know, the Ozarks are where's Momo comes from, too, that particular area, because the Missouri Monster, it's all part of the Ozarks. And, of course, the Appalachian Mountains, which ranges from basically the southern tip of New York through New Jersey, all the way down through the Chestnut Ridge of Pennsylvania, down Virginia, into Georgia, where it ends up. And throughout that mountain chain, there have been sightings over the years. Yep, there you go. Canada was north and east of Shreveport. That's what I thought. So on the eastern side, yep.
And that's something, if you're in good physical condition. Or is that
on the western side?
You might want to consider doing an Appalachian Trail hike. Hike the trail. Of course, I'm probably not going to do that. I could probably ride it on a dirt bike or something. Well, I don't know about that either.
I'll take a 4x4.
It would have to be something extremely comfortable.
Johnny, no. Strangely enough, there is some reports of the Honey Island swamp monster, but it's not a yearly thing, and it's more of a legendary thing now.
Yeah. But I think as far as Bigfoot sightings go, though, I mean, you could pretty much find Bigfoot sightings in every U.S. state except Hawaii.
Jen says, cluster, I see one every day at work. Oh, wait, different kind of cluster. Yeah.
Well, I thought, you know, an honorable mention here earlier. Mick said, what about in Carmine's Bigfoot Museum? And I think there's more evidence. You know, we have evidence of sightings of Bigfoot in the United States. We do not have evidence of a sighting of one of his museums.
Right. There's never been a sighting in one of his museums. And every single thing he had, like the plaster cast that he said he had that he was going to put in these museums, that he toted around with him like a sideshow.
Yeah.
They're just copies of what everybody else has. Cliff Barrickman has every single item cast and stuff that Scardy has in those, with the exception of some more of the more notorious things like the Hand of Unknown Origin.
Joan, get me a Snapple.
The
the bear claw with the claws cut off, or the bear paw with the claws cut off of it. Right. That's the Hand of Unknown Origin, a declawed bear paw.
Right.
But when asked, I remember this specifically, when asked the question, why did someone cut the tips of the fingers off of each digit? I don't know.
I know.
Yeah, you got to remove those claws, right?
They want the claws. They make nice ornaments.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, well, hunt grizz.
So the Ozark Mountains run kind of through Missouri, Kansas, Johnny, kind of in the middle of the country. It's a mountain range in the middle of the country.
Arkansas, right.
Like once you get out of Kentucky, then you start moving into the Ozarks.
Yep. Cross that Mississippi, and then you get into another hilly area there after a little while. Beautiful area. And, at one point in time, I thought that Arkansas is pretty much flat, other than maybe a little hilly regions, here and there. Because when I'm driving across Arkansas, it's like on I-40, it's usually just a long, straight, flat highway with
Chris,
trees
take over
on each
for
side.
1 quick second.
Sure. But as I started going back, traversing north and south and east and west on the back roads through Arkansas, I learned there are some very hilly areas in Arkansas. It's not flat, no. And the Ozarks are very, very cool. Yeah. Yeah, Johnny, our American geography is not very good either, but yeah, it's across through Missouri, Arkansas. Yeah, Helix, you got it. Beautiful areas. Kansas, Oklahoma, yes. Grant. And when you get, once you cross that Mississippi River, then you start getting into the hilly areas again after a bit of a drive. But again, I was fooled. I thought Arkansas, because if you go across I-40, you seem like it's pretty much flat. But once you get out away from the interstate, you start finding out, well, they probably put the interstate in one of the flattest areas of the state. And Oklahoma, the same way. I mean, over in eastern Oklahoma, it's a little hilly. They've got some trees and stuff. Of course, once you get on over to the plains area, it starts flattening out.
I just had to deal with the revolt.
Oh, no. What happened?
Yeah. So
the office assistant demanded more treats?
No, the office assistant refused to come back into the office unless I dealt him another bone. Now he is, as I'm talking about him, he stopped eating his bone and he's staring at me. Now he's back to eating his bone. Okay.
Yes, remember, you are his person. He is not your dog.
I'm his
you
personal
are his
servant,
person.
yes.
Yes.
But, so anyway, let's talk about what a cluster looks like. So let's put this one up here. So let's do this.
I'm not putting that up, Mitch. I'm Mick. I see it, but I'm not putting it up. Oh.
So let's see. That's about as
All
big
right.
as we can make
Where
it.
are we looking at here? Oh, Ticonderoga.
So we're looking at the state of New York.
Yeah.
And although it looks like, so this is I geocache a lot of the New York sightings. So each one of these sightings I have either historically found or have investigated personally or have experienced personally. And yes, you can find this on Squatchdetective.com in the investigations tab. Actually see this. And what I try to do is put enough detail in these as possible. So if we look at, say, some of them are relatively new too, but say I look at this one over here, and I click on it, I can see 2008 fall. I remember talking to this guy, but I didn't have time really to interview him because we were actually shooting for Monster Quest at the time.
Yeah.
And we were shooting here for B-roll, and I ended up talking with a woman who was standing there wondering what we were doing. And I said, we're doing a Bigfoot. She goes, oh my God, let me get my husband. Husband comes out and tells me the story about him hunting. And he sees one stand up in the forest, off and went. And of course, and then I have sound, and you can change the icons, and all kinds of. I have some detail.
All available at SquatchDetective.com. You guys be surprised once you start looking around the website what you can find over there. Steve's got a bunch of stuff on there.
Yep. Look at these clusters of sightings.
Healy Khan says, is this a realistic cluster or a David Paulides cluster?
It's definitely not a David Paulides. This is all. In fact, every single one, if you go, like in this particular case, I have actually geocached where we had taken our thermal shot.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And that's the other cool thing. You can put a picture in there, or you can link it to a picture, or you can link it to a video if you have a video, or an audio.
Yeah.
And then, some of them I have some very detailed descriptions of the reports.
I had forgotten this, and I remember we had, I guess it's probably been a couple of years ago now. We were looking at this, talking about it, and reviewing it.
Right.
And
of course,
we were offline, but.
Yep. Of course. My encounter?
Yeah.
My encounter.
Very cool.
And.
Yeah, and Mick said there are surprising numbers of sightings reported near the outskirts of urban areas too. Yeah, it's so wild.
So if you look here very closely, it's not hard to get off track here. So there it is. Of course, I did mark this Skeene Valley Country Club. This is the Cliff Sparks sighting.
Yeah,
on hole number 1.
Yep. Steve has a video of that, I think, in the is that in the member section, or is that on this open website?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I don't think I have a Cliff Sparks video. But then you get up here to, the East Bay, and people want to see on a map. That was a Route 4 crossing. I remember that. That was right around Labor Day.
Yeah.
So you see all of those, and you can look very closely. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, the nice thing is you have the dates on there as well, and that you can view what date they're seen in one area versus what date they're seen in another area. And there's some interesting...
by two couples walking off.
information there that can be gleaned.
Talk about the Winner's Road. Oh, no, this is 2015, 2014. So what I mean about the area of location. So where do you think this guy's hanging out somewhere in here?
Yeah.
Go over here. So this is the
July and September. Yeah.
The Winner's Road episode right here.
Yeah.
I remember that area very well. In fact, you can see the very markings of the trail they walked up into.
Oh, yeah.
They're all hanging up in here, and then they came down. And they were actually parked over here in the gun club. And then all of a sudden, then like 2 weeks later, all the way down here, there was another sighting.
Right.
So you look at this area and you go, wow. You know, it's just when you start connecting all the dots.
Right.
You know, and then you look at some of the historical ones, I believe.
I like looking at these and trying to figure out the travel corridor.
Like here, I mean, Dan Gordon. Remember the police officer, late Dan Gordon?
Right.
You know, this is where his sighting was over here.
Yeah.
So, and then coincidentally, years later, and that's where I got the one track there from right there. Right?
Very cool.
And look what's going on across the way.
Huh.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And then we go over here, and this one goes back to the 60s, 1971, actually. Sasquatch reported family on Gallic's porch.
Yeah.
Stomping around their porch.
Definitely something going on in that area.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. And just look at the and this is the reason why I chose this area to investigate. I mean, look at all that land.
Yeah.
So anything that wants to live in here, plenty of water.
Right.
You got East Bay, you got South Bay, you got Lake George over here. So you have a lot of tributary streams and stuff all flowing into the lake.
And it makes sense. I'm surprised there aren't more sightings reported in the Finger Lakes area. It's prime Sasquatch country. I think there are a lot, Nick.
There probably are, but I don't know any investigators down there. It's just like a no man's land. I know Joe Snyder, when he was alive, was trying to look into that area a little bit more.
Good spot. You have lots of cover and lots of water. That seems to be what they need.
Now, here's the interesting thing. So, in case anybody's wondering, look, see the little bed? That's where I live.
Yeah.
Over there, right?
And
so I live right on the edge of the county, right here. And look what
Roker says, what's the 1998 July sighting?
Oh, I don't know.
See what it says here. Let me make this bigger so I can read. Observed, it was summer of 98. I was I was in college in Putney, Vermont.
Pulteney.
Myself and two other friends.
It's supposed to say Pulteney, but it says Putney.
Okay, we're having some beers. It was almost 2 o'clock.
I'm just doing that thing on purpose now.
Beers. It was almost dawn, and we had the fire going. We were laughing and telling jokes. We had kept the fire going by breaking little sticks and putting them into the fire. Then out of nowhere, myself and one of my friends, both of us from Vermont, heard trees breaking. At first, we both thought it was a moose, and then three of us saw a shadowy figure run about 20 feet behind where we were. Oh,
oops, what's going on?
Shadowy figure.
Yeah, I just want you to take a look at that area real close.
So they heard sticks breaking, and then they saw a shadowy figure.
See over here? This is what they call Sasquatch Mountain right here.
Huh.
Now, why? I don't know, because again, this is a little bit more south of where I usually deal with.
Right.
Right. But over here, I deal with quite a bit. And just look at the cluster right along this road here, this whole area. Of course, Bird Mountain, 4 creatures observed by ski lodge owners.
Wow.
Talk to them personally. Over here on the other side, man said, talk to him personally. 2011, man sees creature while driving ATV. Did not know about this. So very, very cool area. And I was up in this area looking over here. This is another mountain.
Right. Yeah.
In fact, if you watch the episode with me in Vermont with Small Town Monsters and Mike Ann,
Right.
we were pulled off when we were shooting Bird Mountain. We were sitting right here.
Oh, okay.
Now, the interesting thing is that when I had my UAP sighting with Frank,
Right.
it was flying over this mountain here.
Hmm.
And then it tooled off towards Rutland. And then it disappeared. And then all of a sudden it came back. As you can see, it's not very far from Rutland.
Obviously, it's Bigfoot related then.
See, and of course, there was sounds reported coming from this area.
Yeah.
You know, and look, geographically, that's not too impossible.
Right.
Because as you move over to here, you have Hubbardton. And then you have incidents like this, where 2 boys see a creature in the woods watching them. There's one where a woman sees a creature crossing the road by the rock quarry.
Ugh.
Over here, a couple sees creature on shoreline. You have over here, man sees creature on shoreline of lake eating or drinking or eating weeds. And then over here, you have the Vermont trail cam photo.
That's a cluster. Yeah.
So when
it's a nice little grouping right there.
Yeah, look at that grouping. But it's not that hard to believe because I'm investigating a sighting over in this area right now.
Right.
Actually. And I'll show you how we do this. Let me just look at this real quick. There it is.
Looks like it's a lot of tree cover. We got a lot of water in the area.
Watch this. There it is.
You updating live?
Updating it live.
Yeah, Mick says, Steve, tell the audience about the topography of the area. Very important to get an idea how easily Sasquatch can travel unseen and undetected. Coming up, Mick. Oh, Grant. Yeah, man, I don't know. I would love to get to Whitehall, but I just don't see it happening right now. But you never know. Things could change. I said before, I'm always looking for a lower cost RV. I don't want a $150 one, but then again, I don't want a $150,000 one. So we'll see. If I can come up with something, I would love to get out more. Have the a house on wheels where when the old back says it's time to lay down, I have a bed immediately.
See, now we've just added that one to the list.
Very cool. And that's how it's done.
Yep. And see how I get a phone call and boom. It's just like I talk to him. I know exactly where he's talking to.
Right.
I know exactly where he is. And then you look at it, where's the relation to all the... so you want to hear about, look at this corridor right here. Right? From the Vermont trail cam photo, which is here,
right,
to the sighting we just had the other day. And truthfully, let me put something in here real quick too.
I mean, that's easy. You can see the travel corridor just by looking at the bodies of water. It's very easy. And Jen asked, Steve, is Joe's sighting on there?
No, because I do mostly Eastern New York.
Okay. No, Grant. I'm not going to walk there, man. No. But I tell you what, this is the 1st of March. So coming up on the 6th of March, my anniversary of a sighting over there in one area. I'll be out there on the 6th. If all goes well and we don't have tornadoes blow down half the forests again, we'll be out there on the 6th of March.
So I want
things out.
I want you to look at Sound Lake. I've forgotten about this until I talked to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But back in 2016, took a report right there. And here we are, 9 years later.
I'll be damned.
Yep.
Right in the same area. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was right at the old airport.
Well, that's just it looks like just a mile or so.
Because I remember we drove right out onto the airport road because it's all open now. It's not. It's not a real airport, so we just drove right out. Well, actually, Frank drove out. Mm-hmm. We parked over here on the.
Well, I can see a tree line there for travel too.
There it is.
I might look into that, Mick. Yeah, I've got a pickup.
In fact,
it's not really comfortable though. But...
I may have that area actually incorrect.
Oh, dang it. Sorry, guys.
What'd you do?
Banged the table.
No, I didn't hear it.
Banged the table, and my microphone is mounted to the tables. All I heard was boom.
But then you look at these two sightings in the proximity to everything else.
Yeah.
There's the Abear Road incident.
Right.
Right? And look at the proximity to the one I just did.
What's the mileage scale there? How much are we looking at there?
Oh, I would say maybe just a couple of miles. 3 miles maybe on top side. So yeah, you're looking at quite a bunch of, and there's other sightings in Pulteney. That's why they meant to say Pulteney, not Putney. Or maybe I wrote that. I don't know. Maybe it was just a minute, but I didn't.
And Sasquatch Wizard Adirondack says, Steve, I've been working on that corridor slot between the southern end of LG and the northern end of the Sakonda Lake. Sakondaga?
Sagondaga.
Anyway, hitting it at night with snowshoes. Very cool. Yeah.
Let's go over to Sagondaga. Let's see if Daddy-O here has
Helix Khan wants to know when you're going to tear into the 70-year-old frozen Bigfoot in possession of Peter Kane. Or is it just too ridiculous to bother with? I'm on the latter.
So I want you to take a look at this, Jonathan. Here you go. There is a sighting report right there near Sagondaga.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then we can move around. This is the kind, you see the kind of topography. And if you look closely, we don't have a lot of cities. That's Glens Falls. That's further north. We want to get down here, Skidmore, and we look, and right over here, we have this sighting here that was in this particular neighborhood.
Mm.
Right? Of course, this wasn't as developed back when he had his sighting. Now let's move up here.
Grant says you got the Nemo sighting in 1972 listed as Fulton County, New York, but you put the icon way west of it.
No, you got to stop. Look, you got to zoom in on it to get to the right area. Don't look at the zoomed out areas as being exact. Because as you start moving, the icons start moving.
Yeah, I think I may have seen this.
That is our good friend Pat Collins sighting. Now, the interesting thing is, right? So there's Pat sighting, and then we did the podcast right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we did our podcast from.
Right.
And that's where we had the tree knock.
Right.
That's where we found the print. And that's where we had the rock throw.
Yeah.
Right in that stretch, right in there.
That's a good spot.
And then you look.
Looks like a good area, too. Yeah. Yeah.
If you look, there's where Pat's sighting was. And look at it combined with this sighting here.
Right.
And then I've learned that there's another sighting a little further down the road as well.
Hmm.
So, yeah, there's another forested area. And look at it.
It's just for Sasquatch beard there. He looks good.
And the other neat thing is that that's the old prison right there. It's closed now.
Don't want to go there.
Yeah, but you know what? Right in front of it is the Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh, well, that
cottage.
may be worth, might be worth dropping in and checking out.
And that's where he wrote his biography. And if you ever see a picture of him sitting on a rustic or rural front porch, it was right here. And of course, if he looked out, because this is up on a mountain, he could have all this beautiful view. Before the interstate, before any of that.
Very cool. Mick says, I wonder if Sasquatch ostracize unruly Sasquatch, and if so, is there a Sasquatch skid row somewhere?
Probably not.
I don't know, Mick. That would be behavior that we don't know, understand, or has not been reported yet. But theories, there are theories, but yeah, Mick, I like foam mattresses. I think they're cool. We thought about getting one for the Hummer. At some of those kits where you could make a bed by laying the back seat down and then fill up the back hatchback with a foam mattress thing. But crawling in and out is unfortunately a little bit too uncomfortable for me. So that would have been something would have been nice in my 30s. Grant said named after me. He was actually a relative of mine. Okay. Or you were named after him, huh? Very cool.
Yeah, I'm not even so sure that this was the actual sighting report. It was very vague detail, so I just marked it. But there are others, and it's kind of funny as you look at
Yeah. Bill says, I also have a 2-year ongoing investigation in and around Hiram Hollow. Exit 16 includes Lincoln Mountain, I guess. You now know about this. Ask for permission to search Lincoln Mountain area.
Who's that?
The Tupelo Vocal. Well.
Yep, good old Lincoln Mountain. Absolutely. So, yeah, really, really neat area. There is a little interesting side story. So, a couple of years ago, this is Lincoln Mountain here.
All right.
And we had to go up here. So, a couple of years ago, there was a little girl camping or hanging out at the Moreau State Park here, and she was kidnapped. And they actually recovered her alive. Thank God.
Good.
And they found her all the way somewhere in...
Wow.
Not Galway.
That's a long way for a kid to be traveling.
Oh, right over in this area. So somewhere in this area, I don't have the... Oh, that's 29. I'm a little bit lost. Hang on a second. Okay, yeah. I know where I am now. Okay. So they found her. That's 29.
Yeah, Mick says First Nation tribes use circles of shame to deal with problem tribe members. Sasquatch might have their own way. I would probably think it was, relatable to other primate behaviors, like such as chimpanzees. When one male chimp tries to take over as the leader and he gets beat up, he usually kind of wanders off on his own and tries to start another group somewhere else. I don't know. Sasquatch may do the same thing.
Oh, I want to show you this. What do you think that is in the middle of nowhere?
Is that the Tesla thing?
No, that's an atomic power plant.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Oh, you got a dome there. Okay. I didn't see any cooling towers. That must be one of the newer ones.
So they found her, they actually found her off of this road here, somewhere over in this area, I believe, off of this road. Or off, in this area, I'm sorry, right in here. Right? Right. So here's the interesting thing. If I pull up another map, well, I don't know if I'm going to. But anyway, this is the area where the two girls disappeared 20 years ago. It was right from that particular area. So he's really under scrutiny right now for potentially being that guy. But anyway, they found, I lost it again. I'm way south. There we are. So they actually,
thanks, Nathan.
So one girl disappeared right here, and the other girl was last seen right here. And they went missing within 9 months of one another. Both the same age, both the same height, both the same hair color. And then a year later, they found the second girl that went missing. They found her
remains.
They found her remains. Right here in Dagetown State Forest. That's where they found her. In fact, they found her right in here. Right?
That's a near roadway.
Another year and a half later, they found the other girl.
Yeah.
Up in here. And I'm believing, not here, sorry.
Yeah, it makes us chimpanzees will cannibalize the losing formerly dominant chimp.
They found her right up in here. So yeah.
Chimpanzees don't play.
So so here's these two bodies they found within miles, and they were kidnapped within just a mile or so.
So you think this is like a serial killer thing?
Absolutely. It was, girls looked exactly the same. They both disappeared. They both got dumped off in local forests, state forests.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's a guy who knows the area, feels comfortable in the woods. And my guess is that I don't know enough about the victimology necessarily to show what kind of wounds were on each victim.
Yeah.
We do know that the girl that was found sooner, they did know she was stabbed. And the other girl, they just found a part of her skull. Because she was found, the first one kidnapped was found last. And more to the thing was that, she was taken to an even more remote part of the forest. And the other one was taken actually to an area that has a lot of frequent road traffic. So the second one was more high risk, I think, than the first one, which kind of matches that type of killer's type of ideology, as they tend to get a little bit more brazen with each act. And even more so that I find interesting is that there wasn't really many other strange disappearances after that, at least not in this area.
Well, knowing where this particular serial killer likes to hunt, I mean, anybody seems like they could set up a trap, bait him.
Now, the very interesting thing there was a serial killer that this is the cool thing about
Steve, how long ago was other two girls, not the Moreau campsite girl, the other two? What years for the other two girls? Do you have that information on there?
right here. So late August 2023. It's where this girl was last seen, was right
2003
here.
or
2003.
Okay.
Right. And then late August 2003, she was dropped off. Oh, hang on. Sorry, it's been a while since I've been on this map. But anyway, if we go over here, I'll just go to the icons. They're a lot easier. So this is where she was dropped off by her employer, and this is where she was last seen.
Right.
Now, the other young lady, that was her residence, and she was last seen down here at the shop. Right, but as you can see, that's the stretch we're talking about disappearing. The very interesting thing is that both of them had to cross this intersection, right?
Uh-huh.
The very interesting thing is at that intersection is a pull-off for fishers. There's a little parking area there. So I thought, wow, that is probably an area the person probably just set up and waited.
Yeah.
Right?
Waited and watched. Right.
Wait and watched. So they end up being found. The first body was found in 2006, which was almost 3 years after she just, I'm sorry, the one disappeared. So, boom. And there it is over there. That was Dagetown. Right.
Creepy.
Right. And then years later, there was where the other one was found. And you can see that in relation to where the other one is. So that's where they were taken from, right here in this area. And that's where the bodies are found. Now, the interesting side note was that there was another body found in December 2015. So it was an African-American female wearing a red-headed wig. And they estimated her death to be the same time as these two going disappeared. And to me, that just screams a little coincidence, too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, don't like serial killers. If it was my job to catch them, none would see trial because they wouldn't make it.
Right. Very interesting stuff there.
Accidents happen. Well, I don't know. You fell out of the car running 70.
So, Grant, that's true, but Louis Lent was actually ruled out, as was another gentleman. I forget his name, but he was ruled out as well, and he tried kidnapping a girl from near Saratoga High, and he was high on the list because here's a guy,
Right,
not 3 miles, trying to kidnap a high school student who was jogging as part of the track team. He was trying to get her into the van or to the vehicle or whatever. But turned out he had a rock solid alibi for when the other two girls went missing. So that kind of eliminated it.
Need to always, when you go jogging, make sure you have your concealed carry with you.
It wasn't even a remote area, Chris.
Oh.
Like this was like a couple hundred yards from the high school.
Oh. Wow.
They just jog around the high school. Yeah, there's some wooded areas, but it's very well traveled. I used to, I lived over that area. I used to drive by there all the time. So,
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, Grant, that was a little bit before his time. But there was, like I said, there was another guy who tried to kidnap a girl from, that's what I'm talking about.
Huh. So Steve, my neighbor George, told me about these girls being abducted, but he didn't tell me the details. I have audio recordings, something breathing outside my daughter's bedroom window from 2021-ish.
Yeah, that would have been way later. I mean, these girls got kidnapped over 20 years ago now. When I first started looking, it was about 17 because I moved into the area and I started and I happened to catch this and I go, holy shit, this is right around my neighborhood, all around me. There's a serial killer that lived out here at one time. And that was 2017, and then it had been a number. It had been 13 or 14 years. Now, 9 years later, we're well over the 20-year mark. No, actually, Captain Crunch and Count Chocula are still alive. Unfortunately, Cookie Jarvis is no longer with us from Cookie Crisp cereal.
Oh man. I know they got rid of Aunt Jemima. Dang it.
She wasn't on cereal.
No, she was pancakes.
But
I loved Aunt Jemima. Probably Mrs. Butterworth's too. I love Mrs. Butterworth's syrup.
I think this was a very interesting segue we got on. And hey, just shout out in the comments below if you want Chris and I to do a podcast on serial killers.
Ooh.
So I can dig up a few very interesting cases or mysteries, missing persons and stuff like that. It'd be very interesting to cover that at some time.
Too creepy of a topic. I'd rather talk about the UFO exposure and stuff.
Well, I understand that, but that's my investigative tack there.
What's coming out, Supposedly we're going to find out soon about what's going on. Do they have anything?
I'm still working on it. A lot of things have taken precedence over that. And to tell you the truth, I'm still working on it. It may be a little bit, yeah.
I want to see where the discombobulator came from.
Yeah, we did do the episode on the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? It creeps me out, too. Some of but perhaps it has to do with, in my career, I have arrested 2 murder suspects in my lifetime. Not for murder. Completely. This is before they committed the final crime. I caught them as juveniles, and I knew they were going to be trouble growing up. I knew they were going to be. And, years later, and I could tell by just the reaction of the mother, and the one kid especially, that, he's not, I arrested him for stealing like a $75 pair of work boots. This is back, again, this is the 90s. And his mother responded by saying that not that it was wrong to me. She's like, you're stupid for doing this. Like, oh, good. The mother's going to lay into him. And she made a comment. They always watch us of a particular color in the store.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh.
Turns it into, you got caught because you're the wrong skin color.
Not because it's wrong to steal. Right? Not because it's wrong to steal.
Yeah. Rather than you shouldn't be stealing, it's you got caught because you're the wrong skin color.
Right. No,
my God.
I caught him because I have a camera right on that aisle and he's going.
Yeah. Oh, I have no sympathy for people.
And then I caught his buddy.
It's nonsense. Yep.
And then I caught him a second time. Right. And this time I didn't bother calling his mother. I sent him with the cops.
Right.
And then maybe 3 years later, there he is with his buddy ordering a pizza from an empty apartment location. And when the guy goes to knock on the door to deliver the pizza, they emerge from around the corner with a baseball bat and beat him to death.
Oh, man.
And steal his $45 he had on him.
Wow. Wow.
I met John Tice, Trapper, back back, I want to say in 2017. Great guy, real nice guy. But I don't know him enough to do a podcast on him. There's people like Sean Fouke and, who been down to his house. He'd probably be much more easier to do a podcast on John Tice or do any kind of tribute for John Tice. I do have a picture of me and John Tice together up on my wall of memory over here, which you don't see on camera because I don't like keeping that particular stuff out there, as I do Melanie Rauscher, who was on Naked and Afraid, and I met her at the Rochester Paranormal Expo, and she was a veteran of in the Navy, dealing. She had seen some stuff, had PTSD, and unfortunately, she succumbed to her PTSD.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Which is a damn surprise, but she was such a nice person that literally, before she left, she made sure everybody had a picture of her autograph. Thank you. Love you.
Right.
Love Mel, and handing them to everybody, making sure that we got stuff.
Well, I used to watch that show Naked and Afraid. I didn't agree with the naked part. You should give the people clothes.
Hey, if I was naked, everybody would be afraid.
As far as sending them out to survive in a situation, I can agree with that premise, but not naked. That's stupid. That's just something to entice, perverse viewers. They want to see the naked bodies
because when are you going to do survive? It is just like Survivor redo,
Right.
No, that's why they say no. We're Naked and Afraid, and we'll do it a different way.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to call it.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat some dinner. Again, I apologize for my kerfuffle at the beginning of the show, but we got that issue worked out. So I'm sorry, folks. If you're looking for it in your email, it's not going to happen because my email handler sucks. But we figured out a way to get it up on the website that you can scroll it there, and you can look at it and then download it. So.
Yeah, check out Squatchdetective.com for the newsletter, since the email doesn't want to cooperate. But thanks, guys, for joining us tonight. We appreciate you hanging out with us. If it's your first time watching, which, when you watch if you're watching the replay, hey, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Hit the like, subscribe, share, whatever you can do to help us out with the algorithm, because it's a daily struggle. We appreciate you guys. We know we got the greatest audience we could ever hope to have. And we also know that this is only possible because of you. Thank you very much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, folks. And again, thanks. We have the greatest audience in the world. I love you guys. And and we will be coming back at you this Wednesday night for our Wednesday night chat. I don't know if we're going to be on a topic or we're just going to do another free-for-all. I kind of like that free-for-all Wednesday. It's kind of nice where we all get together and talk whatever you want to talk about except politics and religion. And I think that's a pretty fair thing. And then Friday we'll do our normal, little educational show. And Sunday, who knows? I got some people I'm lining up to be guests as well. So we're going to have a fun time. Until then, everybody stay safe. God bless. And of course, what do I always say? That's right. Keep on squatching. Love you guys. See you all Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Squatch-D TV.
We thank you for being here with us on Squatch-D TV. If you haven't taken the time yet, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And oh yes, hit that notification bell too. We don't want you to miss anything. If you really like our content, you should consider becoming a member, and it's really inexpensive and a great way to support not only the show, but honest Bigfoot research. Everyone have a great week. Be safe and God bless. We will see you all here next time on Squatch-D TV. Keep on squatching.